It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Tuesday Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 27th day of June, 2023, coming to you from a nicely warmed up Bedford County, Virginia. It's been a couple days really nice. We're expecting a couple more now. So I didn't make it in the pool yesterday, but hopefully today, as it was up in the 90s yesterday. So I should have it about warm enough for me to get in now, even though it was cold last week. Not a whole lot in the way of news this morning, although one little instance that I'll point out before we get to things. If things may be a little unusual, I am not on my computer. It's in the shop. Hopefully getting the C drive fixed or something like that. It keeps telling me it's full, only it's not. So the guy's going to attempt to fix it today. And if he doesn't, then this afternoon, instead of going in the pool, I get to go buy a computer. So I'm using my old one, which is fine. It's not as mobile as mine is. So, but we should be able to get through today's show. That was the reason, by the way, folks, that yesterday's podcast didn't get uploaded until early morning. It is up now, of course. All right, the main headlines today, the main story is passenger overboard rescued. Bahamas delays the tax increase. We got 3 weather systems to look at. And a whole lot more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Ice Cream Cake Day. I can deal with that. I like cake and I like ice cream. So I can get used to both. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just look for, search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the fat travel guy. Got to get the tongue working right this morning. So anyway, if you are ever listening via the podcast and want to jump over to the video feed, there's always a link in the description so you can do just that. All right, our buddies Ken and Robin are down in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So some lovely scenery, the mountain scenery, of course. I don't live in Tennessee, but that looks like home. You know, the Blue Ridge Mountains looks like any number of views right here around us. Of course, it's not that far down where they are, about 3 hours maybe. Looks like they went on a little four-wheeling action. They also went horseback riding. And this is, I'm assuming, the cabin or lodge that they're staying in. This is the type of place where you go out on the porch and sit in a recliner or a rocking chair with a big glass of sweet tea, as they call it down there. And another view there in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So Kenneth and Robin, hope you're having a good time. All right, the lead story today, folks, has to do with a rescue A successful rescue, I might point out. The mouse doesn't work as quickly on this as it does on mine. A guest who accidentally fell overboard from a Royal Caribbean ship has been safely rescued thanks to quick action from the crew members. The incident occurred on the Mariner of the Seas while the ship was sailing at a day at sea en route to its first port of call on its current sailing. Guests on board Mariner of the Seas have reported a brief overboard situation that was quickly resolved with a successful rescue. A female passenger was reported sitting on the ship's railing to take a photo when she slipped and fell into the water. But the circumstances of the incident have not been confirmed by anyone from Royal Caribbean. Crew members were quickly alerted and the ship was turned around to recover the passenger. A smoke flare was used to mark their position in the water, and the ship's pilot boat was dispatched to bring her back aboard. During the rescue, the ship's cruise director kept guests on board updated through the public address announcements. Deck 4 portside was closed to permit crew members to more efficiently conduct the rescue. Of course, there's no more further details on it or anything about the guest's identity, condition, or the complete circumstances that led to the fall. It's unknown at this time what deck the guest fell from, or whether it was from a public deck or stateroom balcony. You know, it's a little bit difficult, folks, to you have to try to go overboard and hit the water. I mean, most of the decks, if you just go over the railing, you're going to end up hitting something. But I suppose an accident's possible. I just can't imagine sitting on a railing to take a picture. I mean, that's just asking for trouble. That's my thoughts, at least. All right. Speaking of asking for trouble, it's, the midsummer right now, and a perfect time to save some money on lightweight scooters and electric wheelchairs. You still have a few days left on the sale that will save you 8% on anything in the way of those lightweight scooters or electric wheelchairs. You just use the code SUMMER23. You can shop online or you can call at 844-664-7467. Use that SUMMER23 code at checkout. You can also give them SRN 11137 and the channel will get a little help from that. Scoot around in wheel-power chairs. Good people, folks. Matter of fact, I have to call Scoot Around today. But I just got reminded myself to do that. All right. Oh, that's a terrible picture of the Bahamas. Well, again, this computer's not as good as mine. The Bahamas government has announced a delay in implementing a controversial increase in cruise passenger taxes. The new tax rate, originally slated to take effect in July, will now commence in January. Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy has been a vocal opponent of the increased tax rates for cruise passengers, saying that people are tired of being forced to pay increased taxes while on holidays. Through Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, the Bahamas government has announced that implementing a tax rate increase for cruise ship passengers has been delayed until January 1st. According to Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, the decision comes after careful consideration of concerns from the cruise industry. Cruise passengers departing from Freeport and Bimini were to see a rise in their taxes from $18 to $23, while passengers only visiting a cruise line's private island, such as Perfect Day at Coco Key or Half Moon Key, would face a higher tax of $25. Opposition leader Michael Pentard voiced worries about potential repercussions on local tourism, cautioning that new passenger taxes could motivate cruise ships to seek cheaper destinations. All right. I'll be back with a look at the weather after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. All right, guys. It ate one, but that's okay. We'll get this up and I'll upload another one. All right, in the Eastern Caribbean, I said yesterday we were done with Cindy. Well, not so fast. In the southwestern Atlantic, this is remnants of Cindy. An area of low pressure associated with the remnants is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms more than 400 miles to the south-southeast of Bermuda. While strong upper-level winds are expected to present redevelopment of the system over the next couple of days, it has strengthened back a little today. Environmental conditions could become marginally conducive for some gradual development during the latter part of this week. The system is forecast to move generally northward over the western Atlantic, passing near Bermuda on Thursday. Formation chance through the next 48 hours is pretty low. Formation chance through the next 7 days, however, is 30%. All right, now let's see if I can reload the Pacific map, because we've got two systems out there that popped up overnight as well. And where is it? That's right. Sorry about the dead air, folks. There we go. All right. So let me pull this up real quickly. And okay, there we go. Sorry about the delay. Of course, that's out in the off the west coast of Mexico and Central America, off the southern and southwestern coast of Mexico. Showers and thunderstorms continue to show some signs of organization in association with an area of low pressure located several hundred miles south of the southwestern coast of Mexico. Environmental conditions appear generally favorable for development of the systems, and a tropical depression is likely to form during the middle part of the week as the system moves slowly west-northwestward, parallel to the north-southwestern coast of Mexico. We're talking about 60% in the next 48 hours, 90% formation through the next 7 days. Now, the southern X there on the map, the south of southern Mexico and Central America, a broad area of low pressure associated with the disorganized showers and thunderstorms, is located a few hundred miles south of the coast of Guatemala and El Salvador. Some gradual development of this system is possible during the next several days, and a tropical depression is likely to form during the middle to latter part of the week. Sound familiar? While this moves slowly west-northwestward to northwestward, roughly parallel to the southern and southwestern coasts of Mexico. 40% chance through the next 48 hours, 80% chance through the next 7 days. So, got some weather to watch for the rest of the week, folks. All right, that wraps up the news portion of today. Let's jump over and see who's in the chat room. Hot Air Tom is with us back in Richmond, Virginia. Mike's here. Melissa's here. Thank you for your message, Melissa. Today is a good friend, happy friendship. I don't know. And a friend-iversary. There we go. It's the anniversary of the day that Melissa and I met. How's that? And we've enjoyed several cruises now and hope to do quite a few more. Yo, Brooklyn in the house. Eddie, good to see you again, my friend. Joanne is with us. Stormy is back in Pennsylvania. Sorry about that. Steve's here. Robert's with us. Hey, Robert. Nikki's here down in Jacksonville. Katie's here up in, where are you, Katie? Martha's Vineyard. Melissa's saying good morning to everybody. Eddie's saying good morning to everybody. Sonny's here. Hi, Sonny, down in Mississippi. Katie says rainy, stormy weather here in beautiful Martha's Vineyard. Hope to get out later when the weather clears. Well, it looks like finally ours is cleared here. They're still calling for some possibilities of pop-up storms, but not like yesterday. Wow, 112 yesterday in Arizona. Like, that's a little hot for me. Be safe in all that heat. Yuck. I agree. Eddie's waving to Melissa. Melissa says, I love Martha's Vineyard. My favorite place is Mashpee Ma on the Cape. We used to take the ferry over often when I lived in Massachusetts. Hot Air Tom says, Chillie's hard drive is full. Yep. From all the photos he has eaten over the last year. Yeah, well, I don't know what it is. But, I went through all the things of emptying and, cleaning out and, all that business. And it worked for a day or two, and then it was back saying it was full again. So I redid it, and then it worked for a part of a day, and it said it was full again. So anyway, we'll see what happens. The guy called me a little while ago. He needed the password. So I failed to give that to him yesterday. So I gave it to him. He said he'd call me back in a little bit. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll have the computer back for tomorrow. Either that, I'll be going to get a new one. Katie says, I'm blessed that my parents brought property here when I was a baby. My sister and I own the property now. That's awesome. We fixed up a little old farmhouse. Cool. Melissa says, same with my family. Beach house in Cape Cod. My grandparents bought the land and built the house in 1976. Man, I used to go up there all the time, a little earlier than that, Melissa. I still can't think of the cotton picking beach, Manhasset Beach or something like that, out on the Cape. Man, that was brutally cold weather, cold water. It was pretty good surf though. And then since your guys are both familiar up there, I used to spend a lot of time in Rhode Island at the, because I can't think of the name of it now. All the sailing ships and stuff in Rhode Island. I used to go in there a lot when I was growing up. We were up there almost every summer. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up today. I do have another meeting with our friends from Viva Voyages to see if we might have some either some more cabins for December 2nd, or if they've come up with a suitable cruise for maybe January or February. So I hope to see that as well. So Melissa's dad was born in Newport, spent a lot of time. Mystic Seaport's what I was trying to think of, and my brain locked. I spent a lot of time in Mystic Seaport. One of my favorite stories is, as a kid, my mother would just say, just go when we get there. I traveled with my mother, and I was like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years old. And I found a guy that had a shanty there right on the water and painted, was an oil painter. And I told yarns of the sea. And I would sit all day and watch him paint and listen to his stories. And then as an adult, I went back and ended up actually acquiring 3 of his paintings. So, but anyway, yeah, that was Mystic Seaport. Well, Melissa, I didn't realize that you were a New Englander originally. So I love New England. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Hopefully I might have some news tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have the solo cruise deal show with Pete. Pete has made a couple changes on the website for our December 2nd cruise. That's okay. I made him administrator so he could do just that. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today, folks. Thanks for being with me. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. In case of anybody has been watching our subscriber count jumping up, all of a sudden my TikTok stuff has gone nuts. I have one video that's well over 100,000 views now. So we're starting to get some people from that following back into what I really do, of course, which is here. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for being with me. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a phenomenal day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.